Grief is the heaviest stone a heart can carry, but some hearts carry it straight through a mountain. There is a particular kind of love that the world never takes seriously. Not the kind that writes poetry, not the kind that makes grand promises in front of crowds. The quiet kind. The kind that shows up every single morning without applause. The kind that doesn't announce itself. The kind you only truly recognize the day it disappears. Tad had that kind of love, and what he did after he lost it will stay with you for a very long time. Tad was not a remarkable frog. He would have told you that himself. Medium jumper, average swimmer. Nothing about him that made the rest of the pond stop and stare, except for one thing. Leela, his partner, his home. The one frog in the entire pond who made ordinary Tad feel like he was somehow exactly right, exactly enough, exactly where he was supposed to be. They lived on the western side of the pond, a beautiful corner, green and quiet, full of soft mud and morning light. But it was separated from the rest of the pond by a dense thicket of reeds, so thick and so tangled that crossing it was nearly impossible. To reach the other side, where the healers lived, where the elder frogs gathered, where medicine could be found, you had to take the long way. Around the entire edge of the pond, miles of winding, exhausting path that turned a short journey into an impossible one. Everyone in the western corner knew this. Everyone accepted it. This is just how the pond is, they said, and so nobody ever changed it. The morning Leela fell ill, Tad did not panic. She was strong. She had always been strong, stronger than him in most ways that counted. He told himself it was nothing serious, a bad day, a passing chill. But by afternoon she was struggling, and Tad knew she needed help, real help, the kind that only existed on the other side of the reeds. He ran, as fast as his legs could carry him, through the long, winding path, around the edge of the pond, through mud and root and shallow water, lungs burning, legs aching. He arrived. He found the elder frog, explained, begged. The elder gathered what was needed and followed Tad back. But the long way was very long. And by the time they returned to the western corner, moving as fast as two frogs possibly could, Leela was gone. Tad sat beside her for a long time, not crying, not moving, just sitting in the particular stillness of someone who has just watched the world become permanently different. The other frogs came and went. They said the things that frogs say at such times. They meant well, but their words landed somewhere far away from where Tad actually was. Because inside his stillness, one thought had begun, quiet and clear and completely consuming. If the path had been shorter, she would still be here. 3 days after Leela was gone, the other frogs noticed something strange. Tad was in the reeds, not resting in them, not passing through them, standing inside the thickest, most tangled part and pulling, clearing, pushing through with his bare legs and his bare hands, stem by stem, root by root. They watched him from the edge. What is he doing? He is making a path, someone said. Through there? That will take years. He knows that, someone answered quietly. The weeks that followed were not inspiring in the way that stories usually describe. There was no crowd cheering, no elder frog blessing the mission, no moment where the pond gathered and said, "Yes, Tad, we believe in you." There was just Tad. Every morning before the sun came up, every evening until the light was completely gone, pulling, clearing, pushing through reeds that pushed back, moving roots that had been growing in the same place for decades and had no interest in moving. Some days he made a frog's length of progress, some days less. Some days he sat in the middle of the reeds and put his head in his hands and stayed there for a while, and then got up and kept going. Because the path wasn't for him anymore. He had accepted that the path would never bring back the one it was always meant for. That was a grief he carried quietly and completely, every single day, in the space behind his eyes where the pond couldn't see. But somewhere in the western corner, there were other frogs, other Leelas, other partners and children, and elderly frogs who lived one illness away from the same impossible race against the long way around. He was not building a path. He was making sure no other frog ever had to feel what he felt on that afternoon, arriving just a few moments too late because the pond had decided that some of its own were simply too far away to reach in time. 11 months later, Tad broke through to the other side. A narrow path, rough and uneven, and nothing like the wide, clean roads of the pond's main routes. But it was there, a direct path from the western corner to the healers. A journey that once took hours now took minutes. He stood at the opening for a long time. The other frogs gathered slowly. Some had watched him work for months. Some had laughed early on, quietly, privately, in the way that frogs laugh at things they don't understand yet. Nobody laughed now. One small frog walked through the new path, all the way from one side to the other, and came back and looked at Tad. "What is your name?" she asked. He told her. "Why did you do this?" Tad looked back through the path he had spent nearly a year clearing, stem by stem, root by root, day after quiet day. "Because she deserved a shorter road," he said, "and so does everyone who comes after her." His name was Tad, and somewhere on the other side of the pond, there is a path that exists because one ordinary frog loves someone enough to build it. Not for glory, not for applause, just because love, the real kind, doesn't end when the person does. Sometimes it just changes shape. Sometimes it becomes a road.